Okay, I caught a mistake, and I'm glad I did before I caught it. I was saying 1 inch away from the post, but way down here at this 2x4 that's against the brick, 1 inch isn't going to cut it. Part of my 2x4 is showing. In order to cover up this 2x4 completely, I have to have 1 7/8, and I would actually prefer it to overhang just a little bit. So I would go back and I would say 2, and that's 2 inches from this 2x4. So if I go under here and I go to 2, I still have an overhang in the front, nothing showing. So I miscalculated my 1 inch overhang. It's not going to change the length of my top board, although it could have. If it went back to another 2x4 that was mounted to brick like that one, it would actually bring it forward a little bit. But because it doesn't, we're going to be able to continue to use this. So we're going to measure approximately where we want this to end. And I've got 19 5/8 to this edge. I'm not sure if you can see that on camera. Let me check. I've got from this edge to the corner 19 5/8, but I do want it to overhang just a little bit, so 20 would be real nice to fit right here. So we need one board that's longer than 20 inches. Here's one at 25. We're going to take this and we're going to lift this up and hold this underneath. We're going to keep checking and measuring and double checking and measuring. Okay, I want to show you something up close. See, I want the points to line up. You can see this point's a little bit longer, but it's also very critical that this line up too, back here. If I slide this board over to line up with this edge, it's definitely going to leave a gap back here, and I don't want that. So I can manipulate the tip, or I can't manipulate this. So let me get this board cut, and I'm going to use this board as my template and draw a line right here with my pencil. And it's not going to be an exact 45 because I can tell because it's off because of this angle that exists on this top rail. It's not a true 45-degree angle. So let me get this marked and we'll show you how we proceed from here. So what I'm saying is don't just cut an automatic 45 and expect them to fit. You're going to have to probably custom cut your angle. Now that you can see this little tip sticking out right here, I'm going to take my saw or my little fine saw and cut this off and square it up a little bit. And it should look just fine. I measured 2 3/4 inches in. That was to the center of my 2x4 that's under here. And I put a screw. And I measured 2 3/4 inches in and held this exactly 2 inches away from my 2x4 and put this screw. But I didn't put this screw in all the way, so I could put this chalk line on top of it like this. Pull it out. Hold it over this screw that I put in all the way. Snap a line. Now that's exactly where my 2x4 is underneath. While my screw is still up, I'm going to measure every foot, or 2 feet rather. And our first top plate is secure and finished, except for trimming off this little corner. Alright, sharp corners in kids' heads and adults' thighs don't get along, so we're going to be cutting this off in a 45 with my coping saw here. We're actually cutting into the very tip of the other board as well. And see, it's not straight here. It's kind of got a curved front. That's why I'm using a coping saw, because I can control it. There we go. Then, if there's any imperfections, you can come along and tap the corners with a hammer, and that'll round it off for you. Let me show you a close-up. There we go. So that'll make a nice friendly corner in case someone leans up against it. Actually, I'm going to try and round this off just a little bit more. It's coming together real quick. Doesn't take long to pull these boards off. We're at this one right now, 36 3/4. And here we are, just a few minutes later. We're getting all this top rail replaced. And I think it's turning out real nice. It's going to make the deck look just wonderful. We've only got 2 sections to go. That really long one, and then the side. I've got all my top rails done. I've gone and I've ripped this last piece to 4 inches to fit right there on the outside. And we're going to attach that now. Now, one edge of this is cut. And we don't want that pointing out. That'll be seen. The best way for us to hide it is to leave it in a crack. Using my coping saw once again. It's very sharp. And it doesn't take long to cut out a notch. One of the nice things to have is a variety of saws to do different tasks, especially on this high deck where I don't want to bring a saw up here and let the feet of the saw inadvertently scratch this deck, so my saws have to stay downstairs. So to have a handsaw like this is pretty nice. go. Alright, now this board should fit. And not only did I have to cut this, I had to rip it to size. And you can probably see the cut edge right here. I wouldn't want the cut edge showing out. There we go. Now we can climb up a ladder and put a skirt board on the outside. Well, we're getting closer and closer. Right there I need to put a skirt board underneath that piece of decking that's sticking out. And then over here on the side where you can see the butt ends, I need to put a skirt board on both of those sections. So that's next. Okay. I got 44 3/4. I need 44 3/4. There we go. Okay, you're looking straight down at the edge of this decking, and you can see probably on camera that it's not even all the way across. And so I'm going to take my planer here. I'm going to try and clean this up. Okay, now that we've got that evened up a little bit, we'll get our measurement at 31 1/8. Well, we finished up this deck just in time. It just started to rain. We still have a few details to do, but we're going to come back tomorrow and take care of those minor details. I'd like to thank you for watching Gr8Handyman's home remodeling videos. I really do appreciate you watching. Stay tuned. Another episode is about to begin.